It's my life's work, it's my life experience, so it doesn't mean it's gonna be easy, but you can be in a state of ease when you go through the uncomfortability.
Welcome to the Words of Wisdom podcast. This is the place to be to raise the consciousness within in order to create a life and business of ease, flow, and freedom. This podcast offers inspiring stories, strategies, and special guests to help you become your most aligned self. I am Minerva Maharajh, a former NBA Toronto Raptors dancer turned ICF accredited spiritual life coach, founder of Goddess of Wisdom Spiritual Life Coaching, and Star Seed Academy coach training. My soul's mission is to show you the impossible is truly possible. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Let's get to awakening your soul's wisdom.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Words of Wisdom. I am officially back and it feels so good to be back. The last podcast I probably posted was in October of 2021 as I was on a mat leave, and even though I've been back to work doing private coaching and mentorship with my school Star Seed Academy, it took a while for me to get back into the flow of creating these videos and being in a space where I feel inspired and have the energy to offer you stuff that could be of service to you. And I really just wanted to make sure I'm in a good place to start doing this more consistently for you. So I'm back. Welcome back. And thank you those who've always been following me and also who are new to this community. Please let me know in the comments if you're watching on YouTube or on any of the podcast platforms, or even you may be following me from Instagram. Let me know what you want to hear and how I can support you with manifestations, in your manifestations. My mission is to show you the impossible, to show you that it is possible. Whatever it is that you want and desire in your soul, whatever it is that's in your heart, and you feel like it's true for you, and you're meant to do that, and whatever it is, you're meant to have that, it is possible for you. It wouldn't be in your realm, it would not be in your field, it would not be in your awareness if it was not possible for you. So I'm here to show you that it is possible. And these upcoming podcasts are all going to be about at least bringing you one step closer to that, inspiring you to move you into action, to believe that it is possible, to feel that it's impossible, and yes, then move into inspired action. That's my hope. And even if you get one download, one aha, one insight that you can take away, that you can journal, that you can reflect, that you can ponder, and moves you into a state of feeling lighter and feeling good, then I feel like I've accomplished my job. So thank you for being here. Today I want to start off with a new topic, but it is all towards how to manifest, how to create your impossible. And when I say your impossible, it is I'm possible. If you look at the words impossible, the word impossible itself says I'm possible. So it is possible. So if it's something that you have been striving and yearning for and you're taking action towards it, but sometimes you feel like you're far away from it, or you feel defeated or discouraged, I'm here to make that easier, to close the gap, to help you achieve that. Or even maybe it's something that people say it's impossible, but you know in your soul that it's possible. You're my people. I am here to help you. I'm here to serve you. I am going to aim to try to do these podcasts, by the way, definitely bi-weekly. In some cases, we'll release it weekly, but I definitely could commit to bi-weekly. I'll let you know if I could do more, but check back here on YouTube, check back here on the podcast, and make sure you download, you subscribe so that you get notified when I do release these. I do plan on doing how-to videos, like I mentioned, the steps, how to bring you closer into achieving your impossible, how to achieve the impossible. Some meditations, some raise the vibrance. So that's a new one. That's something I've been doing on my mat leave to really raise the vibe. And as you know, and if you've been following me or if you're new to my world here, everything does come down to energy. But I do bring a practical approach on how to create and how to manifest. And how to actualize. So I'm going to talk the difference about manifesting and actualizing today. It's going to be very important. So it's going to be a mashup of different things, how-tos, meditations, raise the vibrance, affirmations. I just want to be in your back pocket to bring you closer to living the impossible. So let's get to it. Today, I want to talk about the number one thing that is sabotaging manifesting with ease. Okay? What is sabotaging manifesting with ease? So let's start with, what's the difference between manifesting and actualizing? Okay. Manifesting is how you manifest, how you bring about your desires. Actualizing is that you manifest, that you bring about your desires into physical form. Okay, so when you talk about how to manifest with ease, is how to create with more ease, how to bring about what you want with more ease. And the thing that is blocking you from manifesting and bringing about and creating into and bringing into physical form with ease is perfectionism. Mic drop. Perfectionism. Perfectionism is, I'm guilty of it. I just see it a lot with my coaches. I see it a lot with my clients. I see it a lot in even the messaging out there around manifesting. And I think it even goes against, it definitely goes against manifesting with ease, but it goes against, and it almost muddies up the meaning and what manifestation is. And this is where people think, oh, it's this airy fairy, easy breezy thing to do. But no, manifestation calls forth in you, it calls forth such deep work. And when it's not easy, people think that they're doing it wrong and that it's not for them and it's airy fairy and it's so out of reach. But manifestation is some deep, committed inner work. You are creating it in your inner world before it shows up in your external world, and it calls forth a lot within you. Now, I'm not going to go through that so much today, but what I want to talk about is like, how do you manifest with ease? And the thing that's blocking you with manifesting with ease is perfectionism. Perfectionism in terms of trying to get it right, trying to follow the steps, striving to feel good. And if you are good enough, then you will manifest. If everything is perfect, you will manifest. And I even see the opposite as well, where people get mad at themselves and get mad at the process, get frustrated because they're doing everything that they could possibly do on the physical action level, and then it's still not showing up. So this image of it has to be perfect, I have to be perfect, things need to be lined up to be perfect in order for it to show up. And if it doesn't show up, then I'm wrong, then I'm doing it wrong, then I'm off track, or it's not going to happen, is all a lie and all messing up manifesting with ease. You can't manifest with ease by being hard on yourself, by working against yourself, feeling defeated all the time, feeling discouraged, hating on yourself. I was going to say cussing, like cussing at yourself, but I'm just going to say it. Just keeping it real and raw here. This is also not going to be a very perfect podcast. And I'm exactly that. I'm throwing out perfectionism. I have a blanket here. I may have my baby here at some point. It's just going to be real and raw. And also another thing, I'm not going to look into the camera all the time. When I'm like off and I'm looking off, and I've had people say, you have to like use your hands. You have to look straight into the camera. Screw that. I don't care about that. I'm talking the way I talk, and the way I get downloads, and the way I translate sometimes, and the way I process is by looking off the camera. So I'm just letting you know that if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening on the podcast, you wouldn't see that, obviously. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about perfectionism. This perfectionism, first of all, when did it start? How far back does it go? This definitely starts back in your childhood years, where you have to be perfect in order to achieve, in order to get rewards, in order to be loved. I had that. I had to be perfect at school. I had to get all straight A's. And one thing that was so frustrating for me is I would work so hard and study so hard. Yes, sometimes I would study near the end, because also the anxiety of not getting it right is kind of what pushed it off as well. But I would study so hard to get it right, to get straight A's. And I know, and I don't care what anyone says, even my parents, that I worked so hard to get those straight A's, and then I would get like a C plus or C minus or B minus or something like that. And I just remember receiving the paper thinking I would have done so much better. And when I look at that look at that B or C, I would feel so defeated. because I did everything quote unquote right. I studied. I read the books. I answered all the questions. I showed up. I did what I had to do, but I didn't get it right. And it took me a long time to realize that it's not about getting it right. And yeah, whatever, I don't care about those A pluses because look at me now, sort of thing. Like, and that's not to brag, but it's to I share that because, I was told that you have to finish university. I was told that you have to get straight A's to succeed. I was told you have to take business courses to have your business. I didn't do all of that stuff. And I have two businesses and making over six figures. Like, this is, I made it my own. Now, back to that whole having to get it right and to be perfect, it just doesn't exist, and it just sabotaged my creations and me manifesting what it is I wanted at the end of the day. And everything that everyone told me was impossible, to be a dancer, to have your own business, to find love, to do it this way, to do it the right way, I went against all of that, and I defied all of that, and I still got those things, right? And what I do know is when I think back and look back to those times where I felt so defeated and I felt not good enough despite my efforts, it didn't help me manifest. It didn't help me create it didn't bring it to me sooner, right? What I do now realize in hindsight and doing the work is that those moments, now you have to forgive those moments, right? Because those moments that make you feel not good enough is going to carry forth. You're going to be triggered now. Hence why if something doesn't happen, you get mad at yourself, you get mad at the system, you get mad at the process, and you just want to give up. And then eventually you get all the energy back again, you start back up again, and then you're in that cycle. You'll always be met at the dead end of it's not good enough. Okay, so I'll share with you how to get out of that little cycle. But I think number one, it's so important to go back and heal what is still wounded. Like if you're triggered, if you always feel like it's not good enough and you're always, for example, you get that client, you get that check, money comes in and then it goes out, and then even if you get that check or get that raise or whatever, you get that moment of a high, and then you're like, shit, it's still not good enough. It's because you're still on that cycle that it's never going to be good enough. So if you are creating on perfectionism, if you're creating on it's not good enough, you're creating to fill that void of it being enough. It never will be enough. So number one, it's important to go back and heal those wounds of in your childhood or as early back as you can think of when it felt like you weren't enough or your efforts weren't enough, because that's how you are going to move forth. That's a pattern you're going to carry forth. That's how you are going to be, and that's how you're going to do if you have this underlining seed of I don't feel enough and I have to get this right in order to manifest. But back to that story about me doing, always struggling at school, what I learned is that obviously you don't need to get straight A's. You don't need to get all the answers right. You don't need to have to follow the checklist. You don't have to check it all off in order to get it right. What would have made it easier for me is which obviously I didn't have the tools then, but if I had understood the innate truth that I'm enough, whether I do or not do, whether I get the A plus or get the B plus, I'm enough and I'm worthy of having what it is I want, regardless of what I do, what I say, and what I have or where I am. You're innately enough. And I think that's the most important thing to know, that you are innately enough and you need to connect to that truth. So all those lies, all those stories, all those narratives that are telling you it's not enough, or you're translating it as you're not enough, you need to clear that. You need to heal that. And there's no way around that. Listen, you can manifest. You are manifesting right now. You're manifesting all the time. And you can manifest on not enough. But guess what? You're going to end up getting more of it's not enough. It's never enough, and I'm not enough. You achieve it and be like, I thought I would feel so much better. I thought I would feel like I have everything I need. I thought I would feel like it's enough, but it's not enough, because you created on the cycle and on the pattern and on the dynamic and the belief that it's not enough and you are not enough. Now, I reframe those moments. I went back and healed those, and they keep on resurfacing, and they not resurfacing, but keep being revealed, and different things keep getting revealed. And the minute I feel them and they feel heavy to me, I'm like, oh, I got to reframe and rename that. I need to heal that, because I know that's going to seep through my everything, the way I run my business, my decisions, how I feel, how I show up. It's going to seep through. It's ultimately going to sabotage how I manifest and what I manifest. So, how do you accomplish ease in your manifestation? How do you manifest with more ease? Now, the simple answer is you be in a state of ease. That may be an annoying answer, but it's the truth. You have to get in that state of ease. Now, this is where people mess it up. This is where they take it out of context. That I need to be perfect and at ease and light and feeling so good all the time. That doesn't happen, because we are still human beings having this experience. You're going to have those high days and low days. You're going to feel like shit some days. You're going to feel low. You're going to feel sad. You're going to feel discouraged. But it's like that pocket, that moment when you are feeling those low days, when you don't have the energy, when you just want to rest, you don't want to do, when it doesn't look like it's going to happen. It's those moments, it's getting in those pockets of what are your thoughts and how are you feeling and what's your point of view about those moments and about yourself. What's your point of view about those moments and about yourself? Because often what happens is that, yeah, you can be feeling so good and doing quote unquote all the right things, checking it off the list. I mean, I do go through a process in my Live Your Impossible process of manifesting with ease, and it is proven and it does work. But even with me, when I go through that process, there's still days where I got to clear up and unearth some bigger things come up that I need to heal and move through. And also there are days that I just need to rest. I don't have the energy to pick up a journal. I don't want to meditate. I don't want to go for a walk. And then there's some days I just feel shitty and I just want to be in bed and not be around anybody. So does that mean I'm not deserving of receiving what it is that I want? Does that mean that it's being held in some escrow somewhere? Does that mean that all of my work and all my life experiences, even past life experiences, past lives, I mean, if you believe in that kind of thing, does that believe everything I worked up into, right now I'm 38, worked for 38 years, doesn't add up, doesn't deposit and grow and invest into my future? Does that mean I'm not worthy of receiving? So one thing that has helped me during those low points is reframing what it means and reframing it to a state of ease, reframing it and holding a mindset that allows me to be in a state of ease and allows me to feel at ease so that I can give myself permission to relax and to rest. So to say this in another way, the old me would be like, oh no, I'm feeling burnt out. I need to rest, but I can't rest. I really got to push through. That leads to burnout, right? Oh, I really don't want to do this in my business, or I really don't want to take on this client, or whatever the thing may be that I don't want to do, but I'm pushing against what my body and my energy is telling me. That's the old me. Now the new me says, or the current version of me, and as I am growing and expanding me, you're always growing and expanding, by the way. And now I can look at those times and think, and really not even just think, but feel. And when I say think, you got to think it and feel it at the same time. Like when you think it and it feels good, there you go. You just accomplished like two things there, right? Because the vibration is everything. But now when I take the rest, I'm like, I'm taking the rest because I deserve this. This is how I flow. This is what I need to rejuvenate my energy. This is what brings inspiration. So I come up and I reframe it to something that makes me feel good and light about it. So then that right there, that moment, that day or week or whatever I decide to take off for my work, I am still in a state of ease and I'm still creating in that moment. I'm still manifesting, because that's how you manifest with ease, is being in a state of ease through the highs, through the lows, through the hard times. And even when I go through the unearthing and going through the healing and the unbecoming and the unlearning and all of those things that are super uncomfortable, like I teach this because I have gone through this and I will still keep going through this. It's my life's work, it's my life experience. So it doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but you can be in a state of ease when you go through the uncomfortability. You can still cry and release and be in a state of ease. You can still be upset and allow yourself to be in a state of ease, because I created that space, that safety, and that belief that it's safe for me to be this way. And that's how you move through it with ease. It can be uncomfortable, but I can still be at ease with it and create a space to where I can even hold myself and give myself permission to move through these things. And when I do that, it allows you to move through these moments with more ease. Number one, it feels better. Like I don't have it in the back of my mind that, oh my God, I'm doing something wrong, or I go to the wrong of me, or I go and I sabotage everything that I work for and say things or do things that work against what it is I'm working to actualize and manifest here. But I'm in a better state and I'm in a better feeling state even when I'm going through that. Because that's how I get people who say, you look so confident all the time. You make it look so easy. And that's because I allow it to be easy even when I'm going through the uncomfortable parts, when I'm expanding, going next level. So it's about reframing and coming up with not just fake things, but things that feel true to me and feel light. And so when I am growing, when I am expanding, when I am in uncomfortable stages, when things seem to be going wrong, when I make a mistake, I go into, is it the truth that I'm off track? Is it true that I'm wrong? Is it true I'm not enough because A, B, and C is not lining up? No, it's not the truth. What is the truth? What is some other possible truths? And I go into that. Some other possible truths when things don't seem to be going right is that it's working out for me, that this is going towards my future, my manifestations. This is going to actualizing what it is that I want. There's something here for me to learn. I'm going to show up bigger, better, stronger, wiser because of this. This is gold for my future. This is going to serve somebody else. I have to go through this. This is because I'm doing the right thing. And that's kind of like, that's what I call the raise your vibrance. Like I go through that. I have to literally talk myself through that. To go through that, like if I'm walking, if I'm journaling, if I wake up in the morning, when I feel that low vibration, grab onto those tools. That's a tool that works for me. And changing my vibration, changing my thoughts changes my vibration. And there's some days I don't have the energy to do that, and that's okay, because I know I'm going to pick myself up again, and I know I'm going to do it when it feels good. And I give myself permission, because sometimes it feels good to feel those lower vibrations. I have to feel the sadness. I have to feel the fear. I sit with it. And that's another thing, is giving yourself ease to flow with it. When you think about a river, I like nature. I will refer to nature a lot. If you think about a river, is it easier to just kind of like, okay, think of it, remember like the lazy river? This is kind of now the vision is coming in my mind. You know, the lazy river, anyone in Canada, Wildwater Kingdom, any water parks, and you go in that tube, right? Isn't it easier to sit on the tube and go with the flow of the river? Or is it easier to pick up the tube and drag it against the current of the river? Right? Rhetorical question. Obviously, it's easier to just sit and float with the river, the direction of the river. And that's kind of how I look at it with emotions. And some people shy away from that. People fear that. They resist that, which makes it harder. There's no ease in resistance, right? But when I feel that, when I go with the flow of it, I go with the flow of the emotion. What is it here to tell me? There's a message behind these emotions. These emotions are just energy that is stuck, and is energy that has a message for me. And when I tap in, when I go with it, when I flow with it, it passes. The storm always passes. It passes, and I get the message, I get the healing, I release it, and I also build the resistance against the resistance. So it's like an elastic band. So I'm able to now know that when that fear, something comes up again, I have the resiliency to withstand that flow, to withstand the expansion, and to withstand the uncomfortability in the flow, and to get out of that emotions. I have the tools, I have the strength, I have the gumption. The word gumption is coming to mind to get through that. And people get so scared about emotions and all those things, perfection, pushing resistance, resisting their emotions, pushing against their emotions. All of those things works against manifesting with ease. So there's no perfectionism in manifestation, should you choose it. If you want ease, you have to let go of perfectionism. You're never ever going to accomplish manifesting with ease with perfectionism. Now you just need to reframe perfectionism. You have to reframe how you look at yourself and reframe your process when things get hard. Reframe your point of view. You have to choose a different point of view about when things get hard, when resistance shows up, when you are feeling low, when you have dip in emotions, have a dip in your energy. You need to reframe that. You have to choose a new point of view that feels easier, that feels lighter, that feels true for you. And when you do that, you are manifesting with ease, even through the good days and the bad days. And then it's easier to get back into the flow of the stream and get back to the path of least resistance. And sometimes the path of least resistance is going through the muck. I hope this helps. Ease with your manifestation. Choose ease. You need to choose it with your mind and your point of view, your beliefs, and how you view yourself and how you view the process. And anything that stands in the way of that, anything that feels heavy, that feels resistant, that is a lie. Anything that feels heavy is a lie. Anything that feels light is right. I really hope this helps. It feels so good to be back. I want to be back next week. I'm going to try to work on the weeklies. If not, definitely bi-weekly, because I'm all about what feels good. Alignment is about what feels good and what feels in alignment to me. And when my energy is behind it, when I'm inspired, I'm going to show up. But I will be here. Please join me. Subscribe, download so that you get notified. And thank you again. And let me know if there's anything you need more help with in terms of manifestation. And I'm happy to create videos around that. Thank you so much for joining me. Love you all.